Hello and welcome to the Plant-Based Revolution podcast with your host, myself, Neil Damrell from My Lifestyle Coach. Thank you very much for tuning in again on this week's episode, and I'd like to say thank you very much for taking the time out for your precious day to spend out with me. If you've been a regular listener to the show, then thank you very much for all your listens. I really appreciate everybody tuning in every week, and if you haven't already done so, I know I say this every week, but I'd love to get your feedback, so please head over to iTunes, lend us a review, subscribe so you don't miss any episodes that are coming out, and to get your feedback would be really much appreciated. I would love to hear how you're getting on with the show, if you're really enjoying the show. If you're not enjoying the show, then please feel free to lend us a review as well, because I'd love to know how I can improve the show. If you'd like more guests on the show, we've definitely got a few more guests coming up in the future, and what kind of topics would you like me to talk about in terms of helping you adopt more of a plant-based lifestyle, be more active and achieving a healthier mindset. So if you do head over to iTunes, then I'll give you a shout out on the next episode. But let's just get straight into today's episode. And today I'm going to talk to you about how you can eat well and live a healthier life while at work. So for some of you that might not know much about me, I do also work for a company where I deliver health and wellbeing assessments in the corporate world. So we'll go in and deliver a health on-site assessment, assessing people's blood pressure, cholesterol, stress management, deliver workshops to help people feel fitter and healthier within the workplace and how they can maybe de-stress within the work setting, and overall that would reduce their sickness rates within the company, improve staff morale. Everyone's going to be a lot healthier and happier within that work setting. So it's going to help them make more money, be more productive, and generally have less of a turnover of clients or customers within the workforce. So everyone's going to win-win from the interventions that we provide. But the key factor is every time I go in and do a health assessment and we discuss people's health habits within the workplace, and time again, the same message is kind of being presented to each and every client that comes in and sees me for a health assessment. And I'm very conscious of these points that I'm going to discuss with you today, because generally while I'm delivering the health assessments, I am quite sedentary as well. So it's important for me to be very conscious of that, as well as helping other people be more conscious of it as well. So hopefully these points will help you, especially if you do work in the office environment and you sat down most of the day. Generally, most people that do work in an environment, you may be outside, more labour intensive, or most people like the way the world is going in terms of more online, sat behind a desk on a computer. You know, we sit down on the way to work, we sit down all day at our desk, we sit down on the way home, and then we do a little bit of exercise in the evening, and hopefully that will make up for all the time we've been sat down. But in truth, it actually doesn't make much of a difference. It makes a good bit of difference in terms of you are being active, so you're going out your way, getting your heart rate elevated, improving your cardiovascular health, absolutely. But in terms of longevity, it's going to be more advantageous for you to be standing up all day rather than being sat down on your bum. So there's a lot of issues that can be that can affect your body and your health by being sat down all day. I'm not going to go into all those details. That's going to be another topic for another episode, but it's definitely very, very vital that you are quite conscious of being on your feet, moving a bit more, and helping you just feel a lot better about yourself by being at work, by doing these simple steps that I'm going to discuss with you today. So it's going to be very simple ways that you can make your work life healthier. So generally, if you're guilty of minor snacking and not moving an inch, I'm going to present to you now here 7 ways to become healthier and happier in the workplace. So it's actually an interesting fact, as I've discussed already, that one of the biggest killers now in our modern society is our sedentary life. As we all know, everything is online. You know, as I said before, we sit down for probably 8 hours a day. You know, we've gone to bed, we've lied down, we hardly spend any time moving. So it's important to get your body moving and active as possible. So the technology that's interfered with our careers, social activity, it's all stuff that's keeping us in a sedentary lifestyle. More and more, as I said before, we're getting more addicted to technology at our fingertips. We're always glued to computers, whether that's work-wise or actually if we're in more of a social setting or a leisure setting where we're relaxing, might be watching something on your laptop. So always sitting down is, if you think about it, if you try and add that up over the course of the day, you'd be surprised how many hours of the day you are spent sat down. So I'm going to present to you now these excellent tips that I kind of discuss with everybody during the health assessments as well. So number one, trying to ditch the internal emails. So you might have a colleague over the desk from you, or maybe a couple rows down, and you send them an email about an issue in work, and they'll send you an email back. However, if you just actually got up and actually walked to the desk and spoke to them, you probably get an answer directly from them. It's also going to give you the opportunity to stand up as well. So the research recently has shown that sitting is the new smoking, and prolonged sitting can lead to obesity, certainly can impact your posture, and has been shown to increase your cholesterol levels. According to medical billing and coding, people with sitting jobs have twice the rates of cardiovascular disease as people with standing jobs. So more and more people are sitting down, with less and less, active within our working setting. So any opportunity you can take to stand up and move is going to be fantastic. So ditching those internal emails, so you go and speak to your colleague rather than communicating via email, will be a great start. You might want to do it to begin with 1 or 2 times, just get in the habit, making sure they're on board as well, so they not question you every time you're coming over and speaking to them, and also help to create a bit more of a connection with people within the workplace rather than just being an email, rather than put a face to the name, especially if it's something that you don't work with too often. So it'd be a good way of actually getting to know your staff, getting to know more people within your workplace, as well as giving you the opportunity to stand up and go and speak to someone. Gives you moving, gets you from that sitting position that you're in all the time. We've all been there, where you're stuck into your work, and before you know it, 2 or 3 hours have passed, you're not even moved an inch. So if you can get up maybe every hour, that'd be a great way just to have a little bit of a walk rather than being sat down for the whole time. Another good point is actually to set a reminder. So most of us now have these Fitbits, Apple Watches. They're a great way of providing you with that incentive to stand up. So they're going to measure how long you've been sat down. They're also going to measure how many steps you've done, but also you can set them to record and remind you to stand up. So if you've been sat down for too long, they'll remind you every hour to get up and move. So try and make those advantages of having an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, for example, are something that is definitely going to be quite helpful for you in terms of just reminding you to get up and move that bit more. So another point is to embrace desk size. So as you type away, like I said, furiously at your keyboard, chances are the rest of your body's not moving a great deal. So there's a big issue with glute activation. I've seen it and experienced it with my running. Can create hip issues. According to Dr. Stuart Biddle, Professor of Physical Activity and Health at Loughborough University, which is a university that I attended, even if you exercise at least 30 minutes most days, you're still storing up health problems from being sedentary too much. And I've heard this recently that, even if you go for a run every evening and you've been sat down all day, that run will not offset those 8 hours of sitting down. Where if you went for a run, that may offset, if you're a smoker, it may offset 1 or 2 cigarettes. So there's a benefit in terms of exercise, in terms of that. issue. But in terms of being sedentary all day, you're not really going to do much benefit. Definitely advise you to do the exercise still. It's going to be better than not doing anything at all, but it's being more conscious of being on your feet throughout the day, as I keep addressing. So for this reason, it's important that you make conscious effort to be more active instead of around the office. So when you're in the zone and busy completing tasks, it's hard to tear yourself away from the screen. So in which case, embrace desk exercise, which is taking leg raises, desk twists, tricep dips while you're at your seat, to help create a bit more movement and help you feel better as well, because that was going to pump up your heart rate, going to increase your blood pressure in a good way. You might feel a little bit tired, so it's going to be a good way of just galvanising the body again, get you back to your task. So if you're having that mid-afternoon, mid-morning slump that a lot of people experience during work, then it will just help get you through that mid-afternoon, mid-morning crash and kickstart the rest of the day, but also going to give you the opportunity of moving a bit more. I know years and years ago I worked in a data entry place during university as a bit of extra money over the Christmas period, and because we were sat down all day, they actually had a team that encouraged everybody to stand up. So you're in your different teams and there was a manager for each team, and because we were just on the computer for a whole 8-hour shift, they would come over maybe every hour or two, and we'd all have a break for 5-10 minutes as a team and go into a corner of the room and do some stretching and just do some mobility exercises just to help loosen up our lower backs and kind of just get us up from sitting down. So because you'd be sat down, a lot of people, as you get tired, your posture sinks as well, so there's an issue with lower back pain. So it's important to just get up and then you can go back, sit at your desk and kind of reset. Okay, that is a really good thing to try and implement in your workplace as well. So if you do work in an environment where you sat down most of the time, maybe something to think about that you can speak to with your management or your colleagues, or if you're the manager, maybe implement that within your workplace as well. So definitely something to think about and be more conscious of. So another good tip and research recently come out about keeping the dress code more casual. So actually seen a lot of businesses that I've worked in where the dress code is quite casual, and also sometimes the dress code is a bit more strict with the suit and tie kind of combo. But wherever possible, it's actually quite important to keep the workplace quite casual. It actually doesn't lack in terms of professional graces, but it will add up in terms of health benefits. So they claim that wearing casual clothing every day for 50 weeks will translate in burning an additional 125 calories per week, which is 6,250 calories a year, as you're more likely to get up and move around when you're wearing breathable, comfortable clothing and shoes. And that is very, very true actually, because the people that I've seen in a more casual environment, they have that freedom to kind of move around a bit more. They're not just rigidly tied by the desk. They do have meetings where they're standing up and chatting around and doing different things, rather than being so more like robot-like by coming in a certain dress code, sitting down, working, and then getting up and leaving. So there's a bit more of a casual environment, but they're still very, very productive because it's allowing them to be more active in their workplace, and generally activity actually is improve your concentration levels, improve the mindset of the individual. So you'll find that actually having that you dress down Fridays, all those kind of things that you can add in to begin with, will actually help to improve staff morale, but also engage and encourage more people to be more active. The next tip would be to scrap the bad snack habits. So every office I go to, there's always cakes, biscuits. There's always someone's birthday, so someone's going to bring in cakes for someone's birthday. So it's a bad habit, and it's a bad culture that we've created within a workplace setting. So it's important to maybe change that and see if we can have some good health food swaps. I know some companies would employ a veg box or a fruit box that will be delivered a couple of times a week. So there's options for everybody on site to, if there's biscuits, they've got an option to choose the healthier alternative, because that is going to help. Those simple swaps in terms of choosing a Mars bar, you're going to choose an apple instead, then you're likely to save 150 calories by that healthier choice of the apple rather than a Mars bar, for example. And that's going to add up over the weeks, months and years. If you're having a Mars bar a day as a snack, that's 200 calories. 200 times 5 is 1,000 calories extra per week. And it's quite easy how weight loss and weight gain works in the same way. So that weight gain will be unconscious, and slowly but surely, if you're having that Mars bar every day, it might not seem as it might be a little treat, but it's definitely 200 calories a day you could be saving just by having an alternative like an apple, for example, and changing those healthier food swaps. So if you can, go for those lower calorie snacks and see if you can get people in the workplace to encourage everybody to maybe chip in for a fruit box that can be delivered to the office once or twice a week. If you've got enough of you, it's not going to cost you the earth, and it's also going to help benefit you because you're all going to help each other lose those pounds rather than piling on the pounds by bringing in biscuits and cakes all the time. Another good tip as well is to try and expose yourself as much as possible to some natural light while you're in the workplace. So time and time again, a few times I've been doing my health checks and I've been in a room with no windows all day, so I've not seen daylight all day. And during the winter months, I could drive to the location in the dark, work all day, and then drive home in the dark. So I've not seen any daylight whatsoever. So for me, I always, and have been now for the last couple of years, been taking a vitamin D supplement. So if you are in the office, it's something I would recommend to take a vitamin D all year round, because even though you're in the summer months, you're less likely to probably get out as much as you would like to if you're going to go out for a walk at lunchtimes. So having that kind of insurance by having a vitamin D supplement is definitely going to be beneficial for you. But if you can, try and expose yourself as much as you can to natural light, and this will help you sleep longer and more deeply at night, get more exercise on the whole, and overall is reported to improve the quality of your life as well. So if you can, get out at lunchtimes, go for a walk, 20-30 minutes, especially when the weather's great in the summer. Get out, get walking, and have your lunch when you get back, or have your lunch and then go for a walk after your lunch. But if you can have the opportunity to do that, then I know with some locations, and depending on the job I'm doing, I do have that opportunity to go for a walk. So I'll have my lunch maybe during my snack in the morning, and then lunchtime I'll just go out for a walk for half an hour. And it's just a nice way of switching off, getting your body moving, and you come back for the afternoon. So it just gives you a bit more energy rather than just being sat down for the whole day as well. Another good tip as well is to make sure that you clean up your act, in terms of making sure that your workplace environment is clean and tidy. So we all know a lot of people will have a clean desk, other people have a really bad desk. And generally it's just down to laziness, but they have shown that if you are a cleaner worker, you're actually more efficient in terms of getting things done. You're not going to spend hours trying to find a document that you don't know where it's gone because it hasn't been filed properly. It makes just life a lot easier. I myself is very, very tidy wherever I go at home, and it just makes things, it's like going into a clean kitchen. It's there, you can just get on with what you need to do rather than thinking where is everything, and you've got to juggle all the mess that's around you before you even get into anything. So you're going to be less likely to go and maybe cook in a kitchen because it's messy. So this goes for anything really, within the workplace and at home, just making sure that everything's clean, organised, and you'll find that you'll be more efficient rather than having loads of empty mugs everywhere, post-it notes everywhere, and just really not knowing where you're coming and going half the time. So maybe reevaluate, clean up your act, look at your desk this week when you go back to work, and just see what changes you can make in terms of decluttering, getting rid of stuff you don't need, and making it more efficient. So it'll be less headaches for you, especially when it comes to organising your day. And another good tip, which will quite a bit outside the box, but if you're a dog owner, then this is one for you, because research has shown that having a four-legged friend can benefit you reduce your stress levels, lower cholesterol, and improve blood pressure, and even help recovery from serious illness such as heart attack. So having a dog, going for a walk with a dog with the evening is definitely going to be a really good positive environment for you. So help you switch off. As soon as you get home, you've got to look after it. So you're forced to be more active as well. So it's helping you improve your steps, but also, it's a good friendly friend to look after you and go for a walk. So don't have to buy a dog. I'm not a dog owner myself just because I haven't got the time to look after one, but I know I've looked after a dog a number of times with friends of mine, and it was a really nice time actually looking after them, going for a walk, and I really enjoyed it actually. And for a person that actually didn't have a big love affair with dogs, because I was bitten by one when I was younger, so it gave me a bit of a fear about dogs. It was helpful to get over my fear of being around a dog, and actually really enjoyed taking him for a walk, spending time with him, and having him around the house for a couple of days, just cozying up watching TV. It's just really nice having pets around. I had cats when I was younger, so it is definitely a good thing to have. And dogs really understand humans a lot more, so they are fantastic pets to have if you do have one. So if not, maybe look at see if you can be a dog walker or help out with some dog walking. I know that's an opportunity you can do. Lend a hand, just voluntary, but all the benefits you're going to get by looking after the dog, going for a walk with them, is going to be your payoff, rather than having to worry about getting paid for something. Focus on how it's going to benefit you in a positive way rather than in a financial way, which is going to be much better for you. So those are my 7 tips for making you healthier within your workplace. So like I said, if I go through them quickly again, first one, ditch the emails, walk and communicate more within the workplace. Embrace desk exercise, so move about, try and do some exercises while you're at your desk, or can you go up as a group and do some mobility exercises every hour or so within your workplace. Maybe keep it casual. It's an opportunity there, because apparently research has shown that if you're keeping it casual, you're going to be more active and want to move more because you're in more breathable clothing. Think about how you can swap those bad habits. Bring in a veg box, fruit and veg box per week, rather than having a load of cakes and biscuits everywhere. Join together as a team, because I'm sure there must be a few of you in your workplace that would like to lose weight. So collectively, if you can chip in, that definitely help. Make sure you get your vitamin D supplement in if you sat in an office all day, and if you can, try and get a window seat or expose yourself at least to some sunlight throughout the day. Go out for a walk at lunch times. That's really, really important. Clean up your act. Keep your office nice and organised. It'll help de-stress you. Make your workplace more efficient, and it'll be a happier environment to work in, because you're not going to be spending hours looking for documents. And then if you have one, or you'd like to own one, then maybe buy a dog, because they're a really great way of just getting your steps in, looking after you, switching off, and helping you de-stress, lower blood pressure, low cholesterol, and help you recover from serious illness such as heart attacks. So excellent tips. I feel you try and implement just one of those if you can, and see how that benefits you. And then if you're finding that's going to be helpful, then maybe look at trying to implement another one, and slowly but surely it will just help create a more healthier, more exposed workplace to engage in more activity. So hopefully those have been helpful for you today. So thank you very much for listening. That's been today's episode. I hope you found it helpful. I'm going to be doing a few more episodes around workplace wellbeing, just because it's a sector I worked in and I work in continuously and really have a big passion for and enjoy. So if you do work in the office environment and you do want to speak to me about how you can improve your workplace well-being, how you can improve the culture within your workplace, and you would like to know more about the services that I provide in terms of going into workplaces, providing health assessments and health talks and motivational talks, then please get hold of me through social or at mylifestylecoach.uk, and I can help you just create a healthier more enthusiastic workforce, in terms of trying to get them more conscious about being more active in the workplace. And if you do work in a workplace, then also, and you've got any questions about anything, then please feel reach out to me as well. Reach out and ask me any questions. I'd love to hear from all the listeners. And like most of you, I'm in your same position, sat down a majority of the day, so it's something that I'm very, very conscious of, and trying to implement those kind of strategies on a daily basis myself as well. So hopefully I can relate to you on that side of things, and you guys can benefit from these episodes that are coming forward around workplace well-being, and it's something that you can implement and help you guys just feel healthier, help you lose weight, and happier within the workplace. So again, thank you very much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.